A jury took just 20 minutes to find a St. Joseph County man guilty on 6 charges of child molestation.
Now, prosecutors say that 50-year-old Tony Arguello lured the 2 children with candy in exchange for sexual acts. WSBT 22's Heather Black was in the courtroom when the judge read that verdict. And Heather, what was the family's reaction?
Heather, thank you. A man who admitted to killing his co-worker appeared in Cass County Court again today. William Henderson is facing an open murder charge. Henderson told police that he stabbed Juan Carlos Velasquez Mendez while working at AmeriCart in Casapolis. He says that Mendez was disrespectful to him, pinching his fingers in plastic molds. Henderson says Mendez was also a rival gang member. Henderson told police he hears voices that have told him to kill before. Henderson entered a not guilty plea. The prosecutor says he'll be scheduled for a pretrial hearing in about 2 months and a jury trial in 3.
The man involved in an officer-involved shooting in Plymouth will spend decades behind bars. Lane Dotson received a 35-year sentence in a Marshall County court today for attempted murder. He was convicted last month in the incident from December 2014 at the Plymouth Kmart. Police say a state trooper stopped Dotson about a battery call. They say during questioning, Dotson raised a gun, forcing officers to shoot him several times. Now, he denies that he shot at officers. 2 Elkhart police officers face a civil suit. It stems from the December shooting death of Norman Gary. The officers were investigating a burglary when they heard gunshots nearby. They fired at a car leaving the scene. Indiana State Police are investigating whether it was a police officer or someone else's bullet that killed Gary. Now, the attorney who filed the case claims the officers used excessive force and had no reason to fear for their lives.
Well, good Wednesday evening. I'm Matt Rudkin in the Forecast Center.
You attend the Benton Harbor community is rallying around 3 schools that Michigan is threatening to close. Whole International, Dream Academy, and MLK STEAM Academy are on a list of failing schools. WSBT 22's Cassidy Williams is live tonight in Benton Harbor for us. And Cassidy, tonight the school board discussed plans to keep those schools open.
One Indiana senator says Education Secretary nominee Betsy DeVos won't have his vote. Senator Joe Donnelly says she is not qualified for the role. DeVos isn't an advocate of school choice, and DeVos isn't an educator, but has helped develop Indiana's school voucher program. Senator Donnelly says she will not prioritize issues important to Hoosier families.
That Ms. DeVos.
The Senate committee is set to vote on DeVos's nomination January 31st. The family of a high school student who died released a statement. 17-year-old Mark Mayfield collapsed in a hallway at New Prairie High School Monday night. That was after playing in an intramural basketball game. A family spokesperson released this statement from the family. The Mayfield family is in great grief regarding Mark Mayfield's sudden passing. No words can explain the depth of love his family has for him. A post on the New Prairie High School Facebook page also says a vigil will be held tomorrow at 6 o'clock. That is at the school's baseball field.
Michigan City Police say that a shooting has left a woman in serious condition. It happened this morning on Holiday Street. Officers found the suspect in a nearby alley. He's now being held at the Michigan City Police Department on an outstanding arrest warrant. The weapon was also found, and the name of the suspect and victim will be released tomorrow following a court hearing. In Crime Watch tonight, Elkhart police are investigating a bank robbery with a twist. They say a man robbed the Key Bank on South Main Street just after 11. They say the man dressed as a woman. Police say he had on a wig, glasses, a gray hooded sweatshirt, and dark pants. They say he drove away in a maroon Buick.
A TV icon is dead at the age of 80. Tonight, we're going to remember actress Mary Tyler Moore.
And active wildfires still out of control in Chile. How authorities are taking to new measures to fight the flames. You know, today marks a very important day in history.
Yeah. You think of 2 weather events around here that everybody talks about. Blizzard 78 and the Palm Sunday tornadoes. And snow.
Yeah, February in Michiana, that's for sure.
That's what you expect, right? Not these 60s we saw last weekend. Yeah.
We got our break, so it's time for winter to come back.
I agree.
Thanks, Matt. 2 stranded window washers rescued 14 stories high. What happened that led to that rescue? That's next. Well, the worst wildfires in Chile's history are causing widespread evacuations.
Yeah, Chilean officials say that nearly 60 fires are now under control, but 46 fires are still active. They've burned more than 600 square miles of land so far. Reinforcements arrived today in the form of a 747 Global supertanker, the largest firefighting aircraft in the world. Firefighters from France are also in Chile to help assess just how to stop those fires from spreading.
A massive sinkhole in the driveway of a Pennsylvania home. Look at this. It opened this morning in the yard of a house just north of Philadelphia. Reports say a car and a tree fell into the sinkhole along with the driveway and part of the sidewalk there. You can see a little bit of a white truck dangling on the edge. Emergency crews blocked off that area, but no injuries have been reported.
Some tense moments in Dallas today as fire rescue crews pulled two stranded window washers to safety. Look at this. Their scaffolding failed and left them dangling 14 floors above the ground. One man was raised to the roof of the Prosperity Bank building and the other was lowered to the ground. The men did not appear to be injured, but were taken to the hospital for evaluation.
President Trump lays out his plans to secure the country's border. That's still ahead. And
next, remembering the actress who paved the way for a new generation of women on TV. The life and the legacy of Mary Tyler Moore. That's when WSBT 22 News on Fox continues. The entertainment world is mourning the loss of a legend tonight. Mary Tyler Moore died today at the age of 80.
Now, she first found fame on the Dick Van Dyke Show, but it was her namesake 1970s series that turned her into an icon. Melissa Rainey takes a look back at the life of the woman who changed Hollywood.
Knepper joins us now. Tiger Woods is back.
Yeah, you know, I can remember covering him as a kid when he was at Stanford at the Western Am.
It was the central promise of his election campaign.
Yeah, and today President Trump put the wheels in motion. The president introduced another round of executive action this afternoon, laying out exactly how he plans to secure the border. Lauren Blanchard reports that it does involve the wall that he's been promising over the past year. A Syrian student at Notre Dame is worried for his future after hearing of a draft executive order. That order says that President Trump intends to stop accepting Syrian refugees. It also says the president will stop the United States broader refugee program for 120 days. The student says that many have endured a 2-year vetting process to get here, but may never come now. Trump also plans to stop issuing visas for people from Iran, Iraq, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen for at least 30 days.
South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg switched his tie for gloves and a shovel today. We caught up to him west of downtown with street crews filling potholes. The mayor says the warmer weather this month has helped prevent some of the potholes and given crews time to fill them. He says they have already filled more than 4,000 this month.
Yeah, it's been a really strange season for us.
Now, you can report potholes in South Bend by calling 311. The mayor says the road funding debate going on at the State House right now is critical. He says the state hasn't done much to improve funding in more than a decade. Some work is being done to the popular Ruthmere Museum in Elkhart. Crews are removing the iron gates so they can be restored. Masonry work will also be done during this project. Crews will repair pillars holding up the iron gates that are now leaning. The work is expected to take about 5 months and cost about $34,000.
New at 10, millions of Americans are on borrowed time with driver's licenses that no longer keep up with the times. Congress passed the Real ID Act more than a decade ago. It was a recommendation from the 9/11 Commission to prevent terrorists from getting American driver's licenses. But as WSBT 22 national correspondent Christine Frizzell reports, nearly 24 states and American territories are still not in full compliance.
Driver's licenses.
A golf legend prepares to tee off tomorrow. Tiger Woods gets back on the course ahead in sports.
And celebrating Elkhart's architectural history, how the county wants you to experience the work of E. Hill Turnock.
And we'll have an update on that forecast, which includes some snow next. In the 30s and then going to below zero, you know. So this is at least much cooler.
It's been, what we had, the one was minus 15.
I know, we've been all over the place.
We've been all over the place,
Yeah.
right.
It's been an up and down winter for sure.
There you go. Thanks, Matt.
Well, many of the historical buildings that you've seen around Elkhart were designed by an architect who was originally from London. Most noticeably, the Elkhart City Hall. It was built in 1915 and designed by E. Hill Turnock. Turnock was born in London in 1857 and moved with his family to Elkhart in 1872. He studied architecture in Chicago, but returned to work in Elkhart. And while he was there, designed a number of buildings that you'd probably recognize located around the city.
It's quite a feat.
A free program will be held this Saturday at 11 at the County Historical Museum in Bristol. That's where you're able to explore his career and all of the buildings that he designed.
Coming up next, a broadcasting legend is retiring. Sports is next.
I'm pretty cool story. Her husband was actually a practice player on the women's team. So
Oh, wow.
one of those things, if you can't beat them, join them. She was probably a better shooter.
Seen some of that footage too from '97. We were talking Molly Pyrick was on that
Sheila
team.
McMillan.
Sheila McMillan, Katina Gray there.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool team to
Great
see.
way for her to give back, too. I mean, what an opportunity.
It sure is, yeah.
Dean, thanks. Matt's up next. Finally at 10, Chicago's Brookfield Zoo is celebrating the arrival of its newest member. This giant anteater pup was born November 15th and is finally making her debut.
Yeah, the new pup and her mom, Talum, are on the display at the zoo's Tropic World exhibit for Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. She's the second giant anteater born at the zoo. Her sister, Tapas, was born in May 2015, but was moved to the Pittsburgh Zoo. It's estimated only 5,000 giant anteaters remain in the wild today.
That's the life. Just ride around on mom's back all day.
Very nice.
Holding on for dear life.
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
That was funny. Hey, 7-day forecast shows winter returns. We'll see a little bit of snow tonight, likely about an inch in the morning when you wake up. More snow through the weekend. All of that is lake effect, and it is insignificant. We're not talking about major snows here, but enough to continue to warrant having the shovel around, that's for sure. Temperatures in the 20s, so below average for at least a week, probably longer than that.
Haven't seen that snow in a while, so.
It's been
Shovels
about
out.
2 weeks, yeah.
All right, thanks, Matt, and thank you for joining us. More local news in just 2 minutes over on WSBT 22.
We'll see you in just a few. Thanks for joining us.